Welcome to SuperLife with me, Darin, a podcast where we explore, discover, and share solutions that promote a healthier life and a better world. Together, we'll ignite possibilities, inspire change, and build sovereignty, creating a roadmap towards a super life for you and for all. Get ready to start living your super life. Hey everybody, welcome to the show. This is Darin. This is the SuperLife show podcast extraordinaire. We're stoked you're here. I'm dedicated to helping you live a great life. I want that for you. I want that for the world. That's why we have named it SuperLife, because it's beyond me. It's beyond you. It's about creating the best path forward to maximize our life. And essentially nothing is more powerful than the power of habits. So we're going to explore tools that will benefit you in your life. And the tool that is so powerful is habits. And if you want to improve your health, if you want to improve your productivity, if you want to improve your overall mindset, if you want to improve peace and joy, it's literally sitting there in habits. Habits of your mind, habits of your actions, your health, your wealth, your creativity. Your life is built on a huge amount of habits that are automated. So on the one hand, you want to disrupt the habits that aren't the best for you. On the other hand, you want to implement habits that are good for you. So we're going to dive into, in this episode, the power of habits. So again, why do habits matter? Well, we all have them. Some are good, some are bad. Some are creating things that you like, some are creating things that you don't like. Did you know that our habits make up 40%? That's right. I have the data and the research in the show notes. 40% of our daily behaviors are ingrained in the habits that we are doing. So nearly half of what we are doing every day are driven by our habits, and we're not even conscious of them. They are making our decisions because they are ingrained, and this is why understanding how habits work is crucial to unpack and understand and create meaningful changes in your life. Habits are powerful, and when you implement the change, they actually conserve energy. They actually release stress out of your body, and we'll dive into this. Because once a behavior becomes a habit, it requires less mental effort to perform. Now think about it. When I want to do something, it takes a little bit before it becomes a habit, so it feels like it's monumental, it's hard. But if we stay with it long enough, it actually does the opposite. It lowers stress, it requires less energy, less mental energy. The great news is this habit then becomes beneficial to you. So if you want to improve exercise, if you want to improve eating well, all of these things just become the chasm of a habit, a new habit in this case. So they work for us or they work against us. So let's look at the science of habit formation. So how exactly do habits form? The process is about describing this kind of habit loop, which is consistent of three key components: the cue, the routine, and the reward. Every habit has a cue, has a routine, and has a reward. So the cue is the trigger that initiates the habit. So time of day, the emotional state, the environmental signal. For example, if you're feeling stressed, that might be the cue that has you going, I need to relieve that stress, and so I reach for this snack, or in this case, the crazy ultra-processed food revolution that is not a good one. We reach for this ultra-processed food, which then creates this physiological dampening and over-palatable situation in our body. So then it's a double-edged sword. Not only is it super bad for you, but it also creates physiological addictions as well. So it takes a bit to break that. The routine is the behavior itself. In this example, it acts as the eating of the snack, right? So when we have the cue, I'm stressed, I reach for the horrible snack bar that's full of whatever, but it gives me that reward, that in that moment, that positive reinforcement that makes that stressful response less stressful in that moment. So then when we repeat that, when stress hits us, we repeat that same behavior, and then all of a sudden, that behavior is what you go to when you feel stress. And so that becomes this looping thing, and then you forget about it because that becomes your behavioral mechanism of the adaptation for stress in your life. Food becomes your medicine, and not in the good way, right? So you've reached for something. The reward system is misidentified because it's a reward system that is detrimental to you. So over time, the loop becomes ingrained and the behavior turns into a habit. The key is changing or creating the habit that lies in the manipulation. The key to changing or creating habits lies in manipulating these elements, identifying the cue, establishing new routines, and ensuring the reward is satisfying. So in this instance, if you're stressed, instead of just keeping it simple, if you're stressed, instead of reaching for a hyper palatable food, maybe you reach for a strawberry. It's super good for you. It's super good tasting. And it fills that I'm stressed in this moment, so I'm doing something, but it also doesn't have this double side, this double negative, whereas it's not a beneficial habit, it's actually a negative one. So now you're actually going to shame cycle, and that is, again, that is now even worse because you've picked, it's a bad habit, and now you're in shame that you did it, and then it's detrimental. So if you can just improve on, it's the same cue, but you improve on the routine, now you have a beneficial, true food as medicine in this case. Reach for a superfood, reach for a strawberry, reach for an apple, reach for an orange, whatever that is. And we're going to get into your environment. So you got to create an environment around you that has those other choices. So we'll get into that. So habit stacking is a really important incremental change. And so one of the most effective strategies for building new habits is called this habit stacking. The concept was popularized by James Clear from the book Atomic Habits. The idea is truly simple and powerful. You take a current habit you are already consistently doing, and you stack a new habit on top of it. For example, if you're going to brush your teeth, and every morning you brush your teeth, you could stack a new habit of, hey, every time I brush my teeth at this time, the cue is I stack it with, make sure I drink my water just before I brush my teeth. So now you've stacked it with a habit that's already ingrained, and you've implemented something super healthy and beneficial for you, and now you've cued yourself. You've cued yourself So now when I reach for my toothbrush, I'm like, oh, I haven't drank my water. So now I'm in a better habit forming activity that improves my hydration. So these things are super important and powerful and ways to make a new habit easier to adopt because it's anchored with an existing routine. So another powerful approach to start small. Now, really small. I know we all can go, the New Year's resolutions, the reason why they fail is because those goals are too big and they haven't been broken down in ways that can truly help. Research shows that small incremental changes are more sustainable in the long run. This principle is known as the Kaizen approach. Focuses on making tiny improvements that compound over time. For instance, if you want to start exercising regularly, you might begin by if you haven't been exercising, you might want to begin by just taking a 5-minute walk. That's it, 5 minutes. It's not overwhelming and you can just go do it. It's easy to do. It doesn't take time. And then you feel better, you create this positive loop, and then you just gradually increase the duration. Next thing you know, because we know how quickly time goes by. Boom, 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 it goes by. So if you just can stack and have positive reinforcement of small changes added up over time, man, life changes that way. The other important thing is social accountability and environment design. Now, this is super important as well. If you understand all of these things, you set yourself up to win. You set yourself up to be able to make changes. Now, social accountability is a crucial factor in habit formation. Studies show that when you make your goals public or share them with a supportive community. Now, I would say maybe not public, but in a supportive community. That's my point of view. If you throw out big goals too much to unsupportive people, especially on social media, people are assholes, right? So supportive communities are key. They're likely to stick more when you have that supportive community. This is why being part of a group that's working towards similar things. Now, I've done this with a lot of groups over the last 20 years, and this element is so very powerful. And the bonds that are created, not only are you developing these other habits, but the bonds of those people are also, you make new friends, you learn about yourself and others. It's really important. Finally, let's talk about your environment, the space you live in, the work that you have around you is so profound and it impacts your behaviors. Research shows that modifying your environment to reduce the friction is so important for positive behavior. So, for example, if you want to eat healthier, you want to make sure, like I said before, that there's fresh fruits and vegetables available rather than a bag of, pretzels or cookies or whatever people eat these days. I don't even know. So you want to make it inconvenient for crappy food and convenient for healthy food. So you have to, when you're shopping, when you're setting things up, if you have kids, hide that stuff away from you. Set yourself up for win. Plus, don't buy your kids that stuff anyway, right? Okay, so clear steps to get started. Now, a little caveat here is I am building some things within SuperLife that is going to help with habit formation. It's not done yet, but I am really excited about it. So I've been diving into this stuff and I care about this a lot because I think habits, when implemented and are changed in your life, improves things more than anything else. Okay. So Now that we've covered the science, now that we've covered some of these things, again, the science, the references are in the show notes. I want to identify one key habit to change or build. So I want you to identify one habit that you want to change or create. Maybe it's drinking more water. We all are dehydrated. Believe me, it is true. Okay? Eating more whole foods, improving the colors on your plate. Maybe it's exercising more regularly, getting one more resistance training a week, maybe going for a walk, maybe meditation, maybe it's journaling for 5 minutes. Again, I want you to identify one. That's it. Just one that feels great for you right now. Whatever pops up in your head right now, that's the one to focus on, okay? So it doesn't have to be big. You want an implementable, easy solution. Think about a habit you already do consistently now and figure out how you can stack your new habit into it. Okay, so if I wanted to meditate for 5 minutes, I will stack it with, I've already stacked mine. So I make my cacao adaptogenic drink in the morning. So first I drink water, then I've stacked my water. I drink my water, then I drink my little power elixir, and then I move into a stretching routine, and then I move into my journaling. I've stacked so much in my morning routine, so that's something you can do. How do you wake up in the morning? Okay? Stack it with, you wash your face, you drink your water first. Maybe you're already drinking your water. Stack it with after you drink your water, sit down in a quiet place and journal. Find a routine that you're already doing and stack it with your new one. That's the cue. Allows you to stack that one. Start small. That is the key. Okay? Don't overwhelm yourself. Leverage social accountability. So, to your partner, saying, hey, I have a little different morning routine after I drink my water. I'm going to go into this room and meditate for 5 minutes. Let them know this is what you're doing. Now, all of a sudden, you got accountability from your partner. Maybe even tell your kids, I'm turning the lights off and I'm going to go meditate for 5 minutes. Whatever that is, design your life. So that's also now improving your environment. I'm going to sit on this cushion at this time in this way for 5 minutes, or I'm going to create my water. I'm going to use this salt. I'm going to use this glass bottle. I'm going to drink it at this time. Improve your environment. Improve by telling someone that is accountable to you in your life. Small change, and then all of a sudden that creates big results. Okay? So habits are the building blocks of healthy, fulfilling life. That's it. Habits are that. By understanding how we can apply these strategies, which are powerful but simple, you take control of your habits. Your habits on a trajectory over time will bring you monumental, powerful, super life change. I promise. I invite you to join us here at SuperLife. Sign up for the newsletter, sign up for these things, like, share, subscribe this podcast, share this podcast. We get enough of us. I'm telling you, enough of us creating healthy habits. We've changed the freaking world. That's how it works. Okay? So remember, the power to change your life is in your hands. It's in your habits. Start small, stay consistent, and you'll be amazed at the results. Don't get all distracted with politics and all of this shit. Be true to you. What can you do to improve you today? The person in the mirror. Improve yourself every day, and that creates a powerful ripple across this planet, in your life, in your community, and throughout the freaking universe. I know that at my core. So that's it, everyone. Small choices added up over time creates your SuperLife. I'm stoked for you. I'm here for you. The community is building, and we do this one step at a time, and that's what change is. Peace. Love you.